Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Dal, and this week we get yet another build for the patch 10.1 over on the PTR. And this newest update has given us our very first glimpse at some of the upcoming powerful class tier set bonuses arriving with this next major content upgrade. Though for now, all of these bonuses are still a work in progress, and many of these are planned to go through a variety of changes based on testing and shaped by the community's feedback. In today's video, I want to showcase every single tier set bonus that we know of so far in the PTR of the patch 10.1. And I would like to know your early impressions of what you think about these current class set bonuses so far. Which parts do you like and which parts do you hope get changed before this patch officially releases? But right before that, most of you guys watching these videos are still not subscribed. However, the more of you remind, the more of you do. So let's keep it going. Subscribe to the channel as well as hit the bell if you're watching these videos anyway, especially if you're looking to get regular class and content updates for all the future Dragonflight builds. First, we have the Death Knight tier set bonuses, starting with the unyielding tank spec of the Blood Death Knight. The 2-set bonus increases the damage of Heart Strike and Blood Boil, where either of the abilities has a chance to grant you a Vampiric Blood defensive for 5 seconds. The 4-set empowers Vamp Blood, infusing it with Vampiric Strength, which increases your primary stat for 5 seconds. Heart Strikes and Blood Boils help extend the duration of this bonus by half a second. Blood Death Knights get to embrace the vampiric theme, while protecting themselves from all damage sources, which rewards an overly aggressive playstyle. Next, we have the Frost Death Knights, who gain the Summoner build, calling forth undead dragons to aid them. The 2-set empowers your Frost abilities. Casting Empowered Howling Blast helps reduce the cooldown of Frostworm's Fury by 2 seconds. With the 4-set, casting 15 Empowered Howling Blast calls forth a Frostworm to strike at all targets in front of you at 100% effectiveness. By itself, the Frostworm's Fury ability offers excellent damage, blasting all targets in front of you, completely unchained by AoE restrictions, while providing quite a bit of control if lined up properly. The Unholy Death Knight tier set is rather simple. The 2-set buffs the damage of Death Coil and Epidemic. Casting either spell grants a stack of Master of Death. A 20 stacks Master of Death is consumed, granting you 15% more mastery for 20 seconds. With the 4-set, Death Coils and Epidemics, which consume a Sudden Doom proc, grant 2 stacks of Master of Death or increase your mastery bonus to 25% for 5 seconds. A simple playstyle focused on spending resources while fishing for Sudden Doom procs, where the proc rate can be improved with a variety of talents. Next, we have the class of Demon Hunter, starting with the Chaotic Havoc Demon Hunters. With the 2-set bonus, spending 200 Fury causes you to gain Seething Fury, which simply increases your agility for a handful of seconds. With the 4-set, each time you gain Seething Fury, you gain 15 Fury, and the damage of I-Beam is increased by 12%, stacking up to 5 times. While this set seems more on the simple side, the I-Beam playstyle could be quite devastating given the number of talents which increase its effectiveness. Then we get the tank spec of Vengeance, which embraces their mastery over fire and fel. The 2-set increases the healing done by soul fragments. Generating souls increases your fire damage by 2% for 6 seconds, which can have multiple applications overlapping. With the 4-set, causing Shear and Fracture to deal full fire damage to enemy targets. Consuming 20 soul fragments empowers the next strike, applying a firebrand to your target for 6 seconds. Vengeance Demon Hunters have a natural affinity for fire damage, able to use it both offensively and defensively, spreading out firebrands to multiple targets. The next class is the Druid, starting with the tier set bonuses granted to the Balanced Druid spec. With the 2-set, the damage of periodic effects like Sunfire, Moonfire, and Shooting Stars is increased by 18%, while the 4-set gives Shooting Stars a chance to call down a Crashing Star, dealing 4 times the damage while generating more astral power, a simple tier set bonus which heavily favors a damage over time focused build. Next, we have the Feral Druids, who gain a tier set focused on auto attacks. The 2-set causes auto attacks to grant Shadows of the Predator, increasing agility by 1%. Each application beyond 5 stacks has the chance to reset back down to 2. The 4 set boosts your agility and generates free combo points whenever Shadows of the Predator stacks reset. This will make it the second tier set so far, which makes use of auto attacks to proc its bonus effect. Feral Druids naturally attack the targets rather quickly, as part of the Feral form passive, but can use talents like Frantic Momentum to help generate auto attacks more frequently. Then we have the tenacious tank spec of the Guardian Druid, and the new tier set, which encourages an aggressive Guardian playstyle. The 2 set empowers your next Mangle and Thrash, increasing their damage, rage generation, causing them to heal you for a portion of its damage whenever you take direct damage. With the 4 set, which buffs Maul as well as Raise by 20%. Casting Maul, Raise, or Iron Fur increases your maximum health by 3%, stacking up to 5 times. Finally, we have the Restoration Druid tier set bonus, where the 2 set increases the periodic healing value of Rejuvenation, Life Bloom, as well as a big buff to regrowth healing over time, increased by 75%. With the 4 set either buffing Flourish or Verdant Infusion. Flourish would increase the rate of your periodic heals by 40% for 16 seconds after its initial effect has worn off, while Verdant Infusion causes your Swiftman target to gain 15% more healing from you for 6 seconds. Next, we have the Evoker tier set bonus, which currently is not available for testing over on the PTR, though we do know of the Devastation Evoker's upcoming bonus, starting with the 2 set, which causes Disintegrate as well as Pyre to pierce your foes with an Obsidian Shard, dealing 12% additional damage over 8 seconds. The 4 set supercharges these shards by 200% for 5 seconds whenever you use an empowerment spell. These shards remain supercharged during the duration of Dragon Rage. Then we have the Preservation Healing Evoker set, where we see builds focused on healing magic of the green Dragonflight. The 2 set bonus causes Spirit Bloom to apply a powerful healing over time effect on your allies over 8 seconds, while increasing the value of Dream Breath by 15%. With the 4 set, where after casting 3 empowerment spells, you gain Essence Burst immediately, and then another Essence Burst 3 seconds afterwards. Up next, we have the class of Hunter, whose tier set bonus isn't quite ready for the current PTR build, but will be ready soon, likely in the following update. Though we do know of the tier set bonus starting with the Beastmaster Hunter 2 set. Their 2 set increases the damage of Cobra Shot and Kill Command by 15%. While the 4 set reduces Bestial Wrath cooldown by 1 second whenever you use Cobra Shot, Kill Command, or Multi-Shot in combat. Then we have the Deadeye Marksmanship Hunters, who gain a new Kill Shot potential. The 2 set increases the damage of Arcane Shot and Chimera Shot. Firing either shots gives you a small chance to proc Death Blow effect. The 4 set increases the damage of Kill Shot by 15%, which also affects its cleave value, with every kill shot reducing the cooldown of rapid fire and aim shot by half a second. Next, we have the spec of Survival Hunter, which becomes a tad more explosive. The 2 set increases the damage of Wildfire Bombs. Tossing a bomb increases the damage of your next skill command by 50% against the target. With the 4 set, where spending 25 focus helps reduce the cooldown of Wildfire Bomb by 1 second. A tier set which could support a Bombardier playstyle or even put the ability of Kill Command front and center. And up next we have the class of Mage, starting with the playstyle of Arcane, which seeks to harness the overwhelming side of wild magic. Arcane 2 set further empowers Arcane Surge, increasing its damage benefits as well as its duration, while the 4 set causes mana spent during Arcane Surge to empower you after the Surge buff has faded, empowering you by up to 30% more damage for 12 extra seconds. Then we have the spec of Fire, which encourages an aggressive use of Phoenix Flames. With the 2 set bonus, Phoenix Flames singes your foes' defenses, increasing their damage taken from you by 6%. Hitting a wounded target 30 times activates the talent of Hyperthermia, which causes all Pyroblasts and Flame Strike to be instant cast and critically strike, creating a bit of a burst window. Finally, we have the spec of Frost, with a fairly simple tier set. Their 2 set increases the damage of Flurry and Frostbolt. Flurry will cause an explosion on impact, dealing half of its damage to nearby foes, reduced beyond 5 targets. The 4 set causes ice lances against a frozen target to sometimes periodically proc brain freeze, which empowers your next use of flurry. The next class on the list is the Monk, starting with the tier set bonus of the elusive Brewmaster. The Brewmaster 2 set bonus increases the damage of Blackout Kick, and has a chance to not consume Elusive Brawler when you successfully evade an enemy's attack. The 4 set causes Rising Sun Kick to generate a stack of Elusive Brawler. When dodging, you increase the damage and the critical strike chance of your Blackout Kick and Rising Sun Kick by 5%, stacking up to 5 times. Next, the Mystical Monk gets a tier set which helps them replenish their mana. The 2 set causes Renew and Miss, a chance to grant you Soul Fang Infusion, which restores a portion of your maximum mana over 6 seconds. Then we have the 4 set bonus. Drinking any of your teas or gaining Soul Fang Infusion increases the healing of your Vivify and Renew and Miss by 40% for 6 seconds. Finally, we have the Ferocious Windwalker spec, which is the 3rd playstyle so far with a tier set which uses your auto attacks to gain its bonus effects. The 2 set causes Rising Sun Kick to sometimes go Supernova, dealing fire damage to all targets within your local area. The 4 set causes auto attacks a chance to invoke a Shadow Flame Spirit, which duplicates your next 3 attacks against the target for a portion of the ability's damage. And while the Windwalker auto attack speed is rather quick, it does become disabled while channeling Fists of Fury, which could be a bit of a limiting factor when it comes to calculating the value of this tier set going forward. Next we have the class of Paladin, starting with the healing spec of Holy, whose tier set is going to focus on empowering one of 2 talent choices. The 2 set bonus makes Holy Shock critical heals more effective, and the crit heals also help reduce the cooldown of Light's Hammer as well as Holy Prism by a handful of seconds. The 4 set empowers Light's Hammer, making it 100% more effective, generating Holy Power every 4 seconds, while bolstering the value of Holy Prism healing by 80%, causing it to generate 1 Holy Power when cast against an enemy, or 3 Holy Power when cast on an ally. Next we have the Stalwart Tank of Protection Paladin. The Prop Ally 2 set causes your Avenger's Shield to burn your foes with Heartfire, while healing you in return, while the 4 set allows Judgment crits to trigger Grand Crusader talent procs. The set heavily encourages investing talent points into empowering Avenger's Shield, creating self-healing through an aggressive playstyle. Finally, we have the spec of Retribution. The 2 set bonus increases the damage of Judgment and Hammer of Wrath, empowering them further if the ability critical strikes. The 4 set increases the damage the target takes from Holy Power spenders after using Judgment against the target. Hammer of Wrath will also apply a similar debuff as the Judgment. Next, the class of Priest, which has one of the best tier sets when it comes to raw visuals, though sadly it's not really ready for testing just yet, though we know that the tier set bonuses are, starting out with a playstyle of Discipline. The Disc 2 set bonus causes Penance to heal a nearby ally when dealing damage, or damage a nearby foe when healing a friend. With the 4 set bonus, every 3rd use of Penance grants you Shadow Covenant for 5 seconds, which converts Penance into an empowered shadowy version. Next we have the Holy Priest tier set bonus, where the 2 set enhances Prayer of Mending, giving it a 20% chance to duplicate to another nearby ally every time it jumps. The 4 set causes Prayer of Mending jumps to enhance your next Holy Word ability, increasing its damage or healing by 4%, stacking up to 15 times. Finally, we have the spec of Shadow Priest, which calls forth monsters from the dark depths of the void to aid you in combat. The 4 set causes Mind Blast to be empowered when consuming an instant cast proc to deal 60% more damage while generating more resources. The 4 set will call forth a Shadow Fiend or a Mindbender for 5 seconds after you spend 400 Insanity. The Mind Blast and the Mindbender could synergize together when using the talent of Inescapable Torment, which can create moments of burst cleave opportunity. Then we have the Stealthy Rogues, starting off with the venomous Assassination spec. The Assassin 2 set bonus grants a tinge of nature damage to Rupture and Crimson Tempest, while the 4 set causes all nature damage you deal to be 40% stronger after using the ability of Deathmark, which could allow for some more poison focused gameplay, but desyncing cooldowns apart from one another could create an awkward playstyle. Then we have the spec of Outlaw Rogue. The Outlaw 2 set causes your attacks to inflict Soul Rip against the target, dealing a portion of your damage as a physical bleed over 8 seconds. The 4 set primes between the eyes, causing all souls to erupt, dealing 200% of the remaining damage while buffing your agility. And finally, we have the spec of Subtlety Rogue. The Subtlety 2 set bonus causes Shadow Dance to automatically activate Symbols of Death, while extending the duration of ruptures by 4 seconds. And the 4 set empowers Symbols of Death further, increasing the critical strike damage of Eviscerate and Black Powder by 15%. Then we have the class of Shaman, starting with the spec of Elemental. The Shaman tier set is currently unavailable over in this build of the PTR, but we do know of its upcoming tier set bonuses. The Elemental 2 set might be familiar to some of you, especially if you played during the expansion of Shadowlands. The 2 set causes you to gain the talent of Stormkeeper automatically every 40 seconds, empowering your next few Lightning Bolt abilities. Then the 4 set, where for 8 seconds after consuming Stormkeeper buff, your Lightning Bolts, Lava Bursts, Ice Fury, and Frost Shocks generate additional Maelstrom, while AoE abilities like Chain Lightning and Earthquake deal additional critical strike damage. The Enhancement Shaman 2 set bonus empowers Sundering, causing it to grant you additional mastery, while the 4 set causes it to empower your attacks when striking a singular target, or empower Chain Lightning when fighting multiple foes. The Restoration Shaman tier set heavily favors the use of Healing Rain. The 2 set causes Rain to heal all allies affected by Riptide, while the 4 set enhances your haste for every target healed by your 2 set bonus, increasing the value of your next Riptide. Next class on the list is the Warlock, starting with the dot focus Affliction spec. Affliction Warlock 2 set empowers either the talent of Phantom Singularity or Vile Taint, reducing each ability's cooldown while increasing its damage by 60%. The 4 set causes enemies afflicted by either talent to take 10% additional damage from Affliction Warlock's abilities. Demonology Warlock gains new mastery over the demons that you summon. The 2 set increases the damage of Demon Bolts. Consuming Demon Bolts instant procs helps reduce the cooldown of Grimoire Felguard by additional seconds. The 4 set empowers your summoned Felguard by 40%, while your other pets deal additional 20% more damage while the Felguard is active. Destra Warlocks embrace the chaotic nature of Demon Fire, with the 2 set granting Immolate, Incinerate, and Channel Demon Fire a chance to fire off additional Demon Fire bolts with every single cast. Then we have the 4 set bonus, where after you have cast 15 Demon Fire bolts, your next Demon Fire bolt will deal additional Shadow Flame damage to prime target while splashing damage onto all nearby enemies. And finally, we have the class of Warrior, starting with the Bleed focused Arms Warrior playstyle. With the Arms 2 set bonus, Deep Wounds weakens your target, making them weaker to crits while increasing your crit chances by 10%. The 4 set causes Deep Wounds crits to increase the damage of your next slam by 25%, stacking up to 10 times, causing slam to also strike 4 additional targets for half its damage. A crit focused tier set which could make slam an absolute monster of an ability in both PvE and PvP content. The Fury Warrior 2 set bonus increases the damage and critical strike chance of Rampage by 10%. Then we have the 4 set, where Rampage crits increase the damage of your next Bloodthirst, causing them to generate additional rage and be a guaranteed critical strike, stacking up to 4 times. And finally, the Vanguard Protection spec is getting a tier set which encourages an aggressive use of defensive cooldowns. The 2 set increases the damage of Shield Slam, which helps reduce the cooldown of Last Stand by half a second. This reduction effect is doubled during the Last Stand uptime. The 4 set enhances you when Last Stand ends, causing Shield Slams to unleash a wave of damage to all targets in front of you, reducing their damage they deal by 5%. I want to thank all of you so much for watching this video, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know all your thoughts in the comments below. As per usual, if you guys enjoyed this video or found it informative, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. I would very much appreciate it. And as always, in the description of every single live stream and video, we have a link to our Discord community channel. Probably the best place to reach out to me directly in case you want to let me know what you thought about this video, or discuss with the other members of the community what you think about the upcoming changes. Join our Discord to become part of the community. But otherwise, thank you guys so much for watching. I do hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts, and as always, I'll see all of you guys in another video.